The Explorer ST is truly the sweet spot, and we're gonna go over the reasons why. It's not just 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. It's not just, it's a smooth drive, that the suspension handles well, the seats are comfortable, you can fit 6 in the vehicle. It's because of the way they've tailored their vehicles, because now the new trimmer, in order to get this engine, costs nearly $12,000, which makes this nearly a steal because it's cheaper than the trimmer, and this is above it. And Nate here at Furman Ford has given us this ST so you can see really why this is the best trim to go to. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Ride. It starts off with 7.8 inches of clear. The Explorer badging goes into the LED headlights at daytime runnings with the glossy black for the grille with the ST. The lower gets the LED fog lights, and this is gonna have a bright white beam, which will make it easy to navigate. And for just under $64,000, this can be had for less money than the new trimmer, which is underneath this. So that, to me, doesn't make sense the way they are badging their vehicles, because that's the off-roadsy vehicle, this is the performance vehicle, then you got the Platinum that will give you all the features, but yet you're getting so much value here and saving from going to the Platinum, and you're getting the 3-liter EcoBoost V6, producing 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque that's paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission, achieving 17 mpgs for the city, 22 mpgs for the highway, with a combined at 19 mpgs, reaching 60 around 5.1 to 5.5 seconds with a top speed that is electronically limited to 143 miles per hour. Now, with specs aside, the reason why this is my go-to trim when I'm looking at the Explorer is because it has one of the most smooth rides in class, even comparing it against Nissan. Even with these upgraded 21-inch wheels, 14-inch disc up here, 13-inch disc back there, a McPherson front suspension with a multi-link rear suspension, but they don't change the suspension to tune it to make it sporty. Whereas when you go into the trimmer, you get an off-road suspension, and it's lifted almost an inch more than this with skid plates. You also have the all-terrain tires. And you can option this engine on the trimmer, but it'll be around $12,000. And the significance about this engine is that it has a low torque range. It starts around 3,100 to 3,500 is where the power really comes into play. But anything underneath that, you're not going to really feel turbo lag. So it makes the vehicle feel lighter than it is. And yet this is lifted up. So it's basically a sports car, but you have room for 6 occupants. But now at this price, you can start going into luxury vehicles. And that's another thing that's happening in this segment is all the vehicles that it competes against are going into the $60,000-ish price point, in which you're starting to unlock vehicles like Volvo, Infiniti, Lexus. So then, is it worth the price? The rear is going to be getting LED taillights that go into the glossy black, and it's almost like it's smoked out into the Explorer print. The lower gets quad exhaust tips that's exposed, towing up to 5,000 pounds and up to 1,800 pounds payload. So this definitely takes the box to the everyday use 6-passenger SUV, and it backs the performance, which in this class, nobody actually gives you this much performance. That's why this is more unique than anybody. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're new to the channel, click the subscribe and the like, because all these clicks help with the algorithm so we can bring more vehicles to the channel. Power liftgate going into 16.3 cubic feet of storage. The ST is an awesome trim because you get the power 3rd row seats to move them up and down. If you go into the trimmer, you're going to pay nearly $12,000. Now, it doesn't only include that feature, but you're getting this here with a 12-volt. Underneath the floor, you get a ton of storage. From side to side, you have 48 inches, which is 4 feet. From front to back, you have 20.5 inches. You push this button here and it will fold down both at the same time at a 50-50. That's 46 cubic feet of storage. And I like how they keep it the same level here. So you have 48 inches, 4 feet from side to side, with nearly 48 inches from front to back going into the second row at 47.5 inches. Unfortunately, what Ford has done is they have forgotten about the second row though. You still have to come back here, fold the seats down in order to max the cargo at 85.3 cubic feet of storage. And that will increase cargo from front to back at 83 inches. So the ST, I mean, this is definitely a sweet spot vehicle because you're getting the performance engine. We need to go inside, start it up, so you can hear that exhaust note. the key fob to the Explorer ST. This keypad, you have to pay extra for it. It's not standard. Power seat adjustment for the front, heated front seats, ventilated front seats. We get the ST embossed. You can see it a little bit more so in the camera than I can see here. It's perforated. We got the multi-contour with the upgraded B&O sound system, which gives you 4 speakers more, giving you memory for the driver. This is all part of the Sun and Sound package. The nice thing about the ST is the ventilated seats is a standard option. You have that aluminum mesh look that comes into play, as well as that Explorer and that grain that comes into play here. Leg space at 6'3", I have 4.5 inches, and I have an additional 4.5 inches. My knees are going to be sitting up in the air. There's really no way around that because this doesn't extend. There's no cushion extensions. This is part of Ford Performance, and you'll have a little storage cubby right here, which looks like it was an afterthought because they don't have a full pass-through. But considering I've already done the trimmer, if you haven't seen it, check it out through the channel. This is about $1,000 less and you're getting more vehicle. Let's fire it up. Now it's going to be obvious. We get this tablet size, 13.2 informational display, wireless connectivity like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. This has Google Maps, Google Play, Google Assist, YouTube, and it's 5G capabilities instead of the 4G like the prior. Put it into reverse, 360-degree reverse camera. The trajectory does expand even the toe lineup, and you can zoom in for that toe. You can click this little sub menu right here, and you can change this out too, so you can see your front and rear parking sensors, or the side to side. Click onto this icon and another sub menu pops open, and you can just click onto each individual side. Unfortunately, you can't do anything here nor here. You have to actually touch the physical buttons. Try climate control settings, and you have to do all that through this infotainment screen. I know a lot of people don't like that. It is what it is. You can still turn the sound system on and the volume through here, and you can turn that auto start stop off. You have a storage here, but no wireless charging pad. They have decided to take them out of Ford in general because they heat up too much, the charging isn't quick enough, all this nonsense. Instead of making it better, they take it away. I mean, let me know your thoughts on that. 2 USBs with a 12-volt tucked here, your rotary knob to put it into gear, your driver mode select, another storage area. This is wrapped, so it is soft, opens up into a pretty deep storage pocket with the 12-volt, which brings me to another conclusion of why didn't they just do a full pass-through? Because you see how much space they have here. Leather wrap steering wheel, flat bottom, ST badging, multi-function with the paddle shifts. The gauge cluster can tailor through an array of different content for the driver. No heads-up display, auto-dimming rear view mirror, LED interior lights. You get a sunglass holder and a large panel moonroof, which is part of that Sun package. But this year, they have thrown a twist. It's fixed, so you can't open this up. And I'm telling you that because look, I'm pushing the button and it won't open up. You get your home link right here and leg space for the driver. I have about 6 inches here, and on this side I have an additional 6 inches, and headroom is more than enough for someone tall like me. The door panel and dashboard, the configuration is fine. I like that they put this carpet on top of the speaker grills that go across the dash. It gives a two-tone look, and it just makes it look a little bit different than everybody else. But hard materials, I'm not a huge fan of that. The touch to feel in the connections is fine, but it would be nice if it was more soft. The front window and front windscreens, they're acoustic. One touch up and down for all the windows. It's soft to touch here with a long storage pocket and a large opening. But look what I mean by that fitment. For the second row, this is the door opening that you got to fit 2 more because we had the captain seat configuration. The door card is going to be the same as the front, so it's going to be soft here because it's wrapped. And you got a medium-sized storage pocket with a large opening, a beverage holder here. You could probably throw a smartphone here as well. That fake aluminum mesh that comes into play, as well as that Explorer pattern there. Storage behind both of the front seats. Third climate control, but you don't know the temperature. That's only going to be derived on that center tablet. 2 USB-C ports and a home plug. Open this up for some cup holders and you get a Velcro strap so it stretches out, but realistically, I mean, you can fit 3 fingers, maybe some espresso cups. Sitting behind me in the driver's seat, I'm going to have 4 inches of knee space and about 4 inches headroom though. It's actually pretty darn good. The panel moonroof, it doesn't come back enough, and it's not wide enough. That's why headroom becomes a little bit cramped. Air vents are right here with the LED interior lights. You got areas to hang clothes and your grab handles. These seats also adjust forward, which would optimize leg space for the third row. But who needs to do that? At 6'3", I need as much space as I can get. Going into the third row, pull this, slide it forward, and it gives you a max opening around 16 inches to fit 2 more. But a con that comes into play is 2 USB-C ports are on one side only. They're not going to be over here. You do have a little storage lip, so for me sitting on this side, I can simply put my phone right here to charge, but who likes to do that? You get a cup holder there, you got a couple more storages here, and the same thing is going to be on this side. Sitting back here is going to be tight, but because there's only 2, it's somewhat doable. You're going to be sharing some leg space, unfortunately. Headroom, though, is actually really good, as you're noticing, and that's because the headliner is carved out. You get the air vents here in the ceiling, with the LED interior lighting. This gives you about an inch more for the third row and headroom. It's just a all-round built vehicle for the everyday drive, and even this. And you can change it back into Eco. Now you don't hear the exhaust filter in. Road noise, you don't hear a significant amount of it, and this is with upgraded 21-inch wheels. Maneuverability, the steering is pretty artificial for the most part. Now it is a top-heavy vehicle, so don't get me wrong, it's not something that you're going to be taking the bins in, but going from a straight line, light to light, it's a quick vehicle. 400 horsepower performance. And brakes. Now in Eco, it does feel a little bit more heavy. Put it into normal, and it's going to mimic your driving patterns. If there's an obstacle course, you just go around it really quickly. I mean, you can get a speeding ticket quick in this vehicle, is basically where I'm getting at with it. Turn radius at more or less a stop point is going to get about 2 lanes. I mean, it's quick for the day in and day out. It's fun for an everyday drive. It fits the whole family. What's the cons? This screen coming out of the dashboard, it drives me nuts. You still have to tick the box to features, which escalate the price to over $60,000. There isn't any wireless charging pads anymore. The third row, they don't know what the temperature is. You can only do that up here. Everything is in the central screen. I feel the exterior is starting to look a little outdated, and we just got it updated. The interior, it's bland. You only get 1 color configuration, and almost every single color you have to pay for. But the pros, smooth drive. Seats are comfortable except for the fact that my knees are sitting up in the air because the bottom cushion part isn't as long as I would like it to be. But the seat hugs you well. The touch to feel is good because you have soft materials everywhere need be. The craftsmanship, it does need a little bit of work, but everything fits. There's not any gaps in between the dashboard or the center cluster. They could have had more storage, but I like that I can hear the exhaust filter in, because usually when I get this much power, the first thing that I'm thinking is I want to hear it in the cabin. You can feel the performance, but for me, I feel the pros do outweigh the cons because of everything you're getting in one package. I mean, 400 horsepower? There isn't anybody that gives you that much at this price point unless you start going into a more luxury vehicle. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out this next video right here, and I'd like to thank our friends here at Firm & Ford.